My name is Barbara Ling. I am an entrepreneur. I teach people how to do social marketing and make money online on the internet. And I am a graduate of Rutgers University, class of '86, mathematics. In 1995, when AT&T offered for me the opportunity to grow my career aspirations outside of the scope of the company's current future goals. In other words, we weren't downsized, we were right-sized. And I was given $10,000 to leave, and which I did. I was also pregnant with my first child at that time. And I had a choice of returning to corporate land after a while, or basically starting my own company, and I decided to start my own company. What I discovered was not a lot of people knew how to rank high in search engines, meaning how to become #1 with a search engine query. And because I think so creatively, it was very easy for me to do that. And so I would get my website design business ranking up in the top 1, 2, 3, any particular business that I chose to focus on, I was always the top in the search engines. People saw that. People then said, "Hey, Barb, can you teach me that?" They didn't want me to do it for them. They wanted me to teach them how to do that. And that's what started my first info product, which was the Internet Recruiting Edge, which was wonderful. It made me $250,000 that first year. That was very cool. You take virtually any niche, any interest online, and there's going to be people out there who want to have the shortcuts handed to them, who want to know, okay, how do I bypass A, B, C, and D and get to the finish line ahead of everybody else? So lack of energy is one of my biggest challenges. A lot of people I have heard and have seen my students, their biggest challenge is not believing they can do it. So they get the analysis paralysis. And it's like, oh my gosh, how do I start? What if it's not perfect? I have to go back and refine. And they're afraid to just put stuff out online. Basically, whenever you want to become an authority online, I've done that now several times in several niches, you find the popular forums, you answer questions that are asked, and then you provide links back to your own Launchpad authority site. Then you build your reputation. That's what I did. It's time-consuming, but it's also gratifying as well, too, because if you were given a choice between two people to learn from or to buy from, who would you choose? Joe Earlobe down the street or somebody who you already like, know, and trust? So I build a lot of the like, know, and trust into what I'm doing. Some things take time to master, and there are so many ways to earn a living online. What works for me might not work for you, and that's perfectly okay. You don't have to try to reinvent yourself to imitate somebody out there. You don't have to be the next Steve Jobs, the next Bill Gates, the next Barb Ling or so. You do what works best for you. And that is really difficult sometimes to internalize, that you have the ability to create your own success without having to rely upon do this, do that, because sometimes this, that, and that it won't work for you. And that's okay. I still cannot sell my way out of a wet paper bag to this day. But I do pretty well with my own unique approach. Always be true to yourself and always maintain your integrity, because that cannot be taken away from you, but it can be destroyed. I first was hired at Radio Shack as a computer salesman. That lasted for 3 months and 1 day. They had to wait that extra day before they could fire me. And did various and sundry selling gigs because I was a slow learner, that I'm lousy at sales back then. And I know I always wanted to be hired at AT&T or Bell Labs. And I kept applying. I was rejected, I believe, 11 times. I believe one of the last rejection letters was, "Thank you for your continued express interest. However, we cannot encourage this at this moment," which of course didn't stop me, so I sent out the 12th letter, and that got me into AT&T. Definitely, my mathematics degree gave me the kind of edge that not a lot of people have currently in my industry. The cool thing about my degree from Rutgers was, as well as mathematical applications, calculus, complex numbers or so, what math does is it teaches you how to think outside of the box and how to think creatively. So for example, instead of, I am here at point A, I want to get there at point B, how do I get here to there? And I always look at things as, there I am at point B, and here I am now at point A. How did I manage that journey? So I look at the end goal first. When I was hired at AT&T in 1988, I was told that it was my math degree that gave me the edge over just the other applicants because of my ability to think outside of the box. And I credit my degree at Rutgers for that. My professors back then extraordinarily supportive, and whenever I needed additional help, they was there for me. And it was definitely that experience that formed the way that I think today. I once asked several of my professors why they didn't give up on me. And I was told, because we believe in you. This is something that I now tell my students when they say, Barb, nothing is working for me right now and I don't believe that I can achieve X, Y, or Z. I always give the gift of knowing that somebody does believe in you because somebody sees the greatness within you. That, I think, is the best thing that has stood out from my Rutgers education.